ونزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be with you. We are starting our second session, this encounter with the Quran. And in the first session, we talked about something which was quite important. Just before the creation, the angels are asking about humanity, about mankind, about the creation of man, and questioning about the fact that this new creation is going to corrupt the earth and to spread bloodshed. And it's as if the understanding here is that by its very nature, but the very nature of this new creation of the human being, he is, and he is going to be bad. He is going to spread corruption on earth, and this is the questioning of the angel. And that's an important question because within the Islamic tradition you find it among the fuqaha, the jurists, but also the philosophers and within the Sufi tradition, scholars asking, is human being by definition bad or good? How do we define humanity? Is the quality is that we are essentially naturally good, or are we naturally bad? We find this in the Greek tradition. It's a very, very old discussion. Even before that, in the Confucian tradition, you have this polarization in this discussion, that some were thinking, oh, we are by nature bad and we are by nature good, and others even in the Jewish tradition, in the Christian tradition, and very old discussion about how do we define humanity? How do we understand the moral dimension when it comes to humanity? We find it, as I said, in the Islamic tradition, and we find it with contemporary philosophers. Hobbes was of the opinion that we are naturally bad, and Rousseau, the French philosopher, thinking that we were naturally good. In fact, we'll tackle this, and it's an important question. While from an Islamic perspective, the right question is not about are you good or bad per se, but more importantly, what do you do with your own self? What your faith is doing out of you? What are you trying to do with your own self? That's an essential question when it comes to our understanding of the Quran. There is one verse, and we know this because this is in the very short surah in the end of the Quran, when it is said, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. By time, and that this is also something which has to do, the human being is in loss, except for those who believe and do good deeds, and وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and help one another in patience and in truth and in patience. That's something which is in fact a very deep teaching here in the way we deal with our understanding of are we good or are we bad. But the point here is, as if it was confirming was the angels and the intuition of the angels from the very beginning, that we are going to corrupt. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. The people are going to their own loss. They are lost through this experience of time. And here what we have is that with this process of destruction, or being lost, or not knowing the right way from the wrong way, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except for those who believe, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and do good deeds, which in fact is the right question to a better, the right answer to a better question. But what is the question is, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, those who do good deeds. Meaning that in fact what is important in this process of leading us towards corruption and loss, it's this struggle, it's this capacity that we have to believe in God, to believe in the good, and to do good deeds. So there is a resistance here. So in this process of the time process leading us towards our own loss and the corruption, it's important to get it right, that we have the capacity, that we have we are able to do the good and to resist the bad. That's the true and the right answer to the very important question. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that you are good or bad per se. What is important is that what God is telling you, you have the means to be a good person, to do good and to spread good and goodness around you, and to be kind with yourself and with your fellow human beings and with nature. So that's something which is important in the process, is we want to define and to essentialize. I'm this, you are that. No, that's not the point. This is not what the revelation is telling you. You are not such or this and that. You can be. You have to deal with your own self, and you have to resist this natural temptation towards corruption with a spiritual education towards good. That's the challenge. That's what you have to do. And we need to get also the teaching here is that the way you are with yourself will have an impact on the way you will deal with the world surrounding you, with nature and with your fellow human beings. What we find in the Quran is a very important verse telling us about this dimension, when it is said ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. So corruption has appeared on land and sea from what the people have done, what humanity has done. So the action of humanity, meaning that the way you are with yourself will have an impact and has an immediate consequence on the way you deal with nature. If you don't master yourself, you will try to master nature in a way that you are going to destroy it. And this is what we are. The global warming today, the way we are dealing with natural catastrophes, we don't respect nature because we don't master ourselves. So the contemporary culture about let it go, do what you want, has an impact on, okay, the way you let it go with yourself, the way you do whatever you feel, and you are under the authority of your instincts. When your instincts are taking power and taking authority on you, you will destroy nature. That's the relationship. And as much as we have to understand the meanings of this verse, and that the intuition of the angels from the very beginning is that, okay, human beings are able to spread corruption and to kill, but human beings are able of the best, if and only if they control themselves. This is the meaning of believing in God. This is the meaning of a tawheed in your life. The presence of God in your life means master yourself. Try to be a good person, and then you will spread peace and you will spread kindness and humanity around you. This is the way it should be. So don't essentialize your nature, but educate yourself. Educate your mind, your heart, and your body to be a good person, and to spread and to resist corruption and to spread peace and humanity around you. This is the ultimate teachings that we have in this verse. So from the angel's intuition to the spiritual journey you get in this verse is to understand how we have to deal with our own self, we have to deal with our fellow human beings, and also how you have to deal with nature around us. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them. Life is fragile.
نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا